Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into a pretty cool scientific quest, the mission to create the absolute perfect plant-based cheese. You can think of this as a kind of culinary showdown. We're following a group of food scientists who are trying to engineer a truly delicious, dairy-free alternative to one of the world's most beloved foods. And really, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Cheese is just so complex. Getting that texture, that melt, and that unique savory flavor, that's a huge mountain for food scientists to climb. So to really get why this all matters, we're going to zoom in on one specific cheese that's a staple for literally millions of people, paneer. If you've never had it, paneer is this amazing, fresh, soft cheese that doesn't melt, which makes it absolutely perfect for curries and all kinds of other dishes, especially in Indian cuisine. It's a powerhouse of protein and a true cultural icon. But it's got one big catch for a lot of folks. And here is that catch. A whopping 75% of the world's population is affected by lactose intolerance. Let that sink in. That's roughly 3 out of every 4 people on the planet who have trouble digesting dairy. So yeah, there's a huge demand for a great alternative. Okay, so if we're going to invent a new plant-based paneer, what should we use? Well, let's meet our 2 main contenders for this challenge. And you couldn't have picked 2 more different challengers. On one side, you've got soy milk, the protein powerhouse. It comes from what some call a miracle crop, and it's loaded with protein, calcium, and iron. Its weakness? It can form a pretty brittle curd. Then, on the other side, we have coconut milk, the creamy contender. It comes from the tree of heaven, and it's rich in healthy fats that give you that amazing texture and mouthfeel. The big problem here, it doesn't have the right stuff to form a curd by itself, which is a puzzle the scientists have to solve. All right, with our contenders lined up, the competition heads straight into the food lab. It's time for the official cook-off. Now, here's where things get really clever. To solve that curdling problem we just talked about, especially for the coconut milk, the researchers blended each plant milk in a 50-50 split with buffalo milk. So what we're really looking at here are plant-forward hybrid cheeses, designed to get the best of both worlds. When you boil it down, the actual process is pretty much classic cheesemaking. First, you get the plant milk, blend it with the buffalo milk, and gently heat it up to 85 degrees Celsius. Then you add a little citric acid to make it coagulate, or curdle. Finally, you just strain out the liquid, press the curds together, and shape it into a block of paneer. It's actually pretty elegant science. So, with our 2 new paneer varieties hot off the press, it's time for the first round of the competition, a straight-up, head-to-head battle of the nutrition facts. This is the hard data, right from the lab. And whoa, right out of the gate, we have a huge surprise. Check this out. In the all-important protein category, it's the coconut milk paneer that comes out on top with a massive 20.2 grams. It doesn't just beat the soy paneer, it even beats traditional dairy paneer. The creamy contender is secretly a protein champ. Now, this one's probably not as surprising. The coconut paneer absolutely dominates the fat content category, and that's exactly where it gets that rich, creamy texture we were talking about. The soy version is somewhere in the middle, and the traditional dairy paneer is actually pretty low in fat by comparison. But hey, don't count soy out just yet. When it comes to calcium, that crucial nutrient we always associate with dairy, the soy paneer strikes back and takes the lead. Although it is a really tight race, all 3 of these are fantastic sources of calcium. And this chart really shows soy's strength as a micronutrient powerhouse. It grabs the top spot for both iron and magnesium. But coconut pulls ahead as the champion for phosphorus. So nutritionally, it's pretty clear that each of these contenders brings something unique and valuable to the table. Okay, lab results are one thing, but the real test, the one that really truly matters for any food, is how does it taste? It's time to move to the final round, the sensory evaluation. So the scientists got together a panel of 25 judges, and they asked them to rate our 2 plant-based contenders on everything from appearance and flavor to texture. So after all that science, which paneer did people actually want to eat? And the verdict is in. By a pretty clear margin, the winner of the great taste test is the coconut milk paneer. That's right. Despite soy's impressive nutritional stats, it was the creaminess and flavor of the coconut blend that completely won over the judges. So why was it such a decisive victory? Well, according to the judges, the coconut paneer was just a better all-around experience. It had a better color, a superior flavor, a more appealing texture. It just scored higher on all the things that make food enjoyable,
which led to a much higher rating for what they call overall acceptability.
But this wasn't a total loss for soy by any means. The research also showed that both of these new paneer types were incredibly versatile. They turned the winning coconut paneer into beautiful gulab jamun, which is a classic dessert, and they made the soy paneer into some delicious savory snacks. So both of them proved they're totally workable ingredients. Okay, so we have a winner, we've seen the science, but what does this competition really tell us about the bigger picture? What's the main takeaway from all this delicious research?
I think the researchers themselves really say it best. What this work shows is that we can create these plant-forward dairy alternatives that aren't just super nutritious, sometimes even more so than the original, but are also genuinely delicious. It's all about opening up new, sustainable, and healthy options for millions of people.
And that really leaves us with one last question. This study used a blend with dairy milk. So the next great frontier is probably a 100% plant-based version that can get these same incredible results. The quest is definitely not over, and it really makes you wonder what other amazing, innovative foods are going to be showing up on our plates next.